Okay, hi students. So in this video we are going to discuss some more problems or numericals based on trigonometric equations. Okay, so this is the question. Tan A, tan B are the roots of this equation. Then the value of sine square A plus B is required. So tan A, tan B are the roots. When you know roots of this particular quadratic equation, we can write sum of the roots and product of the roots. So first I will try to write sum of the roots and product of the roots. Just see carefully. So what is sum of the roots? Tan A plus tan B. Sum of the roots from this equation is minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. So minus b by 1. So that means you are going to get minus of minus b by 1. That means b. Now what is product of the roots? Tan A into tan B. So product of the roots tan A into tan B, from this equation product of the roots means constant term by coefficient of x square. That means c by 1. So since we know these two expressions, we can find tan of A plus B using compound angle formula. Tan of A plus B can be written as tan A plus tan B by 1 minus tan A tan B. Now using the above values, tan A plus tan B is clearly B, and 1 minus tan A into tan B is C. So this is the value of tan of A plus B, and what we need? Sine square A plus B is what we need. So just when we know tan A plus B, by considering a right angle triangle, we can write sine A plus B values. I will try to do that. So I am taking a right angle triangle in which one of the angles is A plus B. So because A plus B is the angle, we have to take to tan of A plus B opposite by adjacent. So opposite side B, adjacent is 1 minus. So what is hypotenuse now? Hypotenuse will be under root square sum of the squares of these two sides. That means b square plus 1 minus c whole square. So hypotenuse is always square root of sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So what is sine of A plus B from this figure? So from this figure, sine of A plus B can be taken as opposite side by hypotenuse. So this is sine of A plus B, and hence sine square A plus B by squaring on both sides. Sine square A plus B can be taken as b square by b square plus 1 minus c whole square. So this is the value of sine square A plus B. Using tan of A plus B and right angle triangle, we have derived this. Okay, so let us go to next problem. So this is the next question on board. Alpha, beta are solutions of this equation and this equation. Then sine of alpha plus beta is required. So since alpha, beta are solutions of this equation, which is in terms of sin x, the thing we have to observe is this is the equation in terms of sin x. Means sin x is equal to something, you will get the roots like this. So roots of this equation means sin x is equal to something you will get. Alpha, beta are solutions of this equation. That means alpha, beta must satisfy the roots also, no? So when you substitute alpha, sin alpha is equal to 1 root you will get. When you substitute beta in this, sin beta is equal to some other root. So since the equation is in terms of sin x, by substituting the solutions in the roots here, we get the roots as sin alpha, sin beta are the roots of this particular equation. Similarly, this is equation in terms of cos x. So since alpha, beta are the solutions, cos alpha, cos beta will be the roots of this equation. So that is the concept we have to understand here. So let us move on with the solution now. So just we have to observe that sin alpha, sin beta are roots of this first equation, sin square x plus a sin x plus b is equal to 0. Sin alpha, sin beta are the roots. And similarly, cos alpha, cos beta are the roots of cos alpha, cos beta are the roots of cos square x plus c cos x plus d is equal to 0. Since alpha, beta are the solutions, cos alpha, cos beta are the roots. So from first equation, that is from this equation, sum of the roots sin alpha plus sin beta. What is sum of the roots formula? Minus coefficient of the second term by coefficient of first term. Minus a we will get. Okay, and from second equation, we will get sum of the roots as cos alpha plus cos beta. Sum of the roots is equal to same minus coefficient of this second term by coefficient of first term. Now we can use transformation formulas for this. So this is sin c plus sin d model. This is cos c plus cos d model. We can use transformation formula. Sin c plus sin d model. What is the formula? 2 sin c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. This is equal to minus a. This is cos c plus cos d model. So 2 cos c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. Okay, now if we divide these two equations, let me take this as equation 1 and let me take this as equation 2. What happens when we consider equation 1 divided by equation 2? Just observe carefully. 1 divided by 2, 2 will be cancelled. Sin by cos, tan alpha plus beta by 2. This term will be cancelled. RHS minus A by minus C. That means A by C will come in RHS. So this is tan of alpha plus beta by 2. We require sin alpha plus beta. How to get sin alpha plus beta now? So how to get sin alpha plus beta means what is sin theta formula? In terms of tan, it is 2 tan theta by 2 by 1 plus tan squared theta by 2. Can we use this formula? Yes. Just in place of theta, we have to use alpha plus beta. So I will write the formula first. So sin alpha plus beta. Just replace theta with alpha plus beta. So sin alpha plus beta is what? 2 tan alpha plus beta by 2 by 1 plus tan square alpha plus beta by 2. Now substitute tan alpha plus beta by 2 is A by C. So 2 into A by C by 1 plus A by C square. That means A square by C square. Now when you take LCM and simplify, we will get 2ac by a square plus c square. So this is the value of sine of alpha plus beta which is required. Okay, so let us move to next problem. Okay, so this is the next question. If 2 tan square x minus 5 secant x is equal to 1, exactly 7 distinct values in this interval. Greatest value of n is, we have n here. So the complete angles are not mentioned here. N we have some variable. What is the greatest value of n such that this equation has exactly 7 distinct values satisfying this equation? So let us solve the equation first. So for solving the equation, we can use the identity secant square x minus tan square x is equal to 1. Using the identity, let us convert the complete equation into secant x. So using the identity, what is tan square x in terms of secant? So directly I am writing here. So tan square x will be secant square x minus 1, remaining minus 5 secant x, and 1 is taken to LHS. Now let us simplify this. 2 secant square x minus 2 minus 1, that means minus 3, minus 5 secant x minus 2 minus 1, minus 3 is equal to 0. Let us factorize this now. So factorizing 2 secant square x minus secant x minus 6 secant x plus secant x minus 3 is equal to 0. What are the factors? Product must be minus 6, sum must be minus 5. So minus 6 and 1 are the factors. So in the first two terms, 2 secant x is common. So secant x minus 3 is left. Last two terms, we will write secant x minus 3 as it is. So now secant x minus 3 we can take common. Secant x minus 3 common. So 2 secant x plus 1 is equal to 0. So product of these two is 0 means either the first term or the second term must be 0. So that means secant x minus 3 is equal to 0 or 2 secant x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we get secant x is equal to 3 or secant x is equal to minus 1 by 2. Let us reciprocate this for our convenience. Cos x is equal to 1 by 3 because secant is reciprocal of cos. And here you get cos x is equal to minus 2. So is this possible? No, because cos x always lies between minus 1 to 1 we know. So therefore this cos x is equal to minus 2 is not possible. So we can simply eliminate this condition. Just we will eliminate this. Only this is left. So cos x is equal to 1 by 3. So exactly 7 distinct values of this equation must be in this interval. That is the condition given. Now cos x 1 by 3 means cos x is clearly positive. So cos x is positive means x can be in first quadrant or fourth quadrant. That is, if you take 0 to 2 pi, that is one complete cycle. In the first and fourth quadrants, we have two distinct solutions. So cos x positive means in first quadrant we get one solution and in fourth quadrant we get one solution. Means two solutions will be obtained between 0 and 2 pi, that is for one circle. Okay, so let us write the solutions as in the first quadrant. So just observe this now. So when you complete one full circle, you will reach this point, no? So that is for 0 to 2 pi. In first quadrant you have one solution, and in second quadrant you have one solution. Sorry, fourth quadrant. So two solutions you have got here. That is for one circle. That is between 0 and 2 pi, you will get two solutions. So when we start our second cycle, that is for one circle 2 pi radians we cover. So again if we start the second cycle, so if we start second cycle means add 2 pi to this one. Okay, that is in second cycle, that is between 2 pi to 4 pi now. Okay, so first circle, first quadrant and fourth quadrant, two solutions we got. So after one cycle, again when we enter first quadrant, we get the third solution. So after first quadrant, we enter second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant also, no? In fourth quadrant, we get the fourth solution. That is in the first cycle, in these two quadrants, we get two solutions. In our second cycle, again in first quadrant and fourth quadrant, we get two different solutions. So how many solutions we have covered now? 4 solutions. Now let us do the third cycle. Third cycle means again, starting from this point, if we move another cycle, another 2 pi radians we have to add to this. That means 4 pi to 6 pi. So in the third cycle, again in the first quadrant we get one solution, and in the fourth quadrant we get one solution. Means two solutions in our third cycle. So we made 3 cycles, means we covered 6 pi radians. So from 0 to 6 pi we got 6 solutions now. But actually 7 distinct solutions we must get. Okay, so after 3 cycles, so when we reach here 6 pi radians we have covered. So after third cycle is completed, we start the fourth cycle. Fourth cycle means in the fourth cycle, again in first quadrant, we get our seventh solution. Hope it is clear. 0 to 2 pi means first cycle, two solutions. 2 pi to 4 pi means second cycle, again two solutions we'll get. 4 pi to 6 pi means third cycle, again two solutions. 6 solutions are covered. Now we are starting fourth cycle. So fourth cycle means we have to start from here only, no? So in the fourth cycle, in the first quadrant we get one solution. That means seventh solution we got. Only 7 solutions must be there. Therefore, in the first quadrant we get the 7th solution. So after first quadrant, we can go to second quadrant also. We can go to third quadrant also. But we should not enter the fourth quadrant, because when we enter the fourth quadrant, we get 8th solution. In fourth quadrant also one solution will be there, no? So only 7 solutions means in the fourth cycle, we can come into first quadrant. Fourth cycle starts here. So first quadrant we can cover because 7th solution is okay. But fourth quadrant we should not enter, because when we enter the fourth quadrant we will get one more solution. That means 8 solutions we will get, but only 7 values must be obtained. That means we should not enter the fourth quadrant. That means in the fourth cycle you can come only up to this point. You cannot go beyond that. That means in the fourth cycle from 0 to 3 pi by 2 you can travel. You can cover a distance up to 3 pi by 2, but not more than that. Okay, so therefore here fourth cycle means what? it starts from 6 pi. And starting from 6 pi, you can cover up to 3 pi by 2, it is okay, no? So 6 pi plus 3 pi by 2, you can cover this much distance, but not more than that. Because only 7 solutions are there. Starting from here, you can move up to here. Means 3 pi by 2 distance you can cover, but not more than that. You should not enter fourth quadrant is the basic principle here. So fourth cycle starting from 6 pi, you can travel up to 3 pi by 2. So 6 pi plus 3 pi. This is the maximum distance that we can travel. So here only one solution you will get definitely. One solution means in first quadrant we will get the solution. No, that only. Okay, fourth quadrant we are not entering. So eighth solution we will not get. So maximum 7 solutions must be there, means this is the maximum limit that you can actually cover. Starting from 0, what is this maximum limit which we covered? 6 pi plus 3 pi by 2 means what? 15 pi by 2. This is the maximum limit. So they have given the interval like this. So what is the maximum value of n now? 15. This is the maximum extent. If maximum term is not mentioned, seventh solution will be obtained in first quadrant, no? So to get 7 solutions, only first quadrant is enough. No need to go up to here, no? You can stop at first quadrant only. That means at pi by 2 only we can stop. But maximum value of n is asked here. So greatest value means maximum we can go up to 3 pi by 2, but not more than that. So therefore to get the greatest value of n, we can go up to 3 pi by 2 at the maximum. Therefore I use 3 pi by 2 here. So what is this maximum limit? 15 pi by 2. Compare with the question, in place of n, 15 you are going to get. Okay. So maximum value of n is 15. If maximum term is not mentioned, 7 solutions means up to 3 pi by 2 it is enough. Means 6 pi plus pi by 2 is enough actually to get the 7 solution. Since maximum term is given, at the maximum you can go up to 3 pi by 2. So the maximum value of n is 15. Okay, so let us go to next question now. So this is the next question. The inequation 3 power sine square theta plus 3 power cos square theta greater than or equal to 2 root 3 is true for which values of theta? That is the question. So true for which values of theta, because theta is the variable. Now directly we cannot solve this inequality. 3 power sine square theta, 3 power cos square theta, we cannot solve this directly. So therefore, in order to get the condition, we will try to use am greater than or equal to gm inequality. So am greater than or equal to gm for a comma b, what is the condition? Am is a plus b by 2, greater than or equal to gm is root ab. So we can also write this as a plus b is greater than or equal to 2 root ab. So this is the basic condition or inequality which comes from this. So now in place of a and b, I will use these two terms because this is what we need. This is what we need. So in place of a and b, let us use these two. So automatically we will get some condition. Okay. So using am greater than or equal to gm condition. So in place of a, 3 power sine square theta, and in place of b, 3 power cos square theta is equal to 2 root a into b. That means 3 power sine square theta into 3 power cos square theta. So bases are same. We can add the powers. Okay, so this is greater than or equal to. So let us continue. 2 into under root, bases are same, adding the powers. So you will get 3 power sine square theta plus cos square theta. Okay, now see the question once. LHS part already we got here. Greater than or equal to RHS, just observe. You know that sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So if this is 1, what we will get? 2 root 3 only, no? So same inequality we will get here. So therefore to get this inequality, this must be 1 for which values of theta. If this is 1, automatically 2 root 3 you will get in the right side part. So what is the question? This is true for which values of theta. So if this becomes 1, you are getting the inequality. So this becomes 1 for which values of theta? This becomes 1 for all values of theta, because this is the identity. Irrespective of angle, for any theta belongs to R, you are going to get 1 here. That means for any real value of theta, 2 root 3 you will get obviously in the RHS part. Okay, so this is greater than or equal to 2. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. That means greater than or equal to 2 root 3. For which values of theta you will get 1? All values. So this actually is obtained for all real values of theta. For all real values of theta, this inequality will be obtained. That is what they are asking in the question. So everything depends on this, you have to observe. If this is 1, you will get the inequality. So this becomes 1 for which values of theta, you have to think. This is identity. So this becomes 1 for all values of theta. So therefore inequality is satisfied for all real values of theta. That is the condition. Okay, so let us move to next problem. So this is the next question. Alpha comma beta satisfy sin alpha plus sin beta is equal to root 3 times cos alpha minus cos beta. Then this we have to find. Okay, so this is the given equation. First let us try to take the terms with alpha to one side and the terms with beta to one side. So let me write the given equation like this. So alpha terms one side, beta terms one side. So this I will shift to left side. So sin beta, so that comes to left side means plus root 3 cos beta is equal to root 3 cos alpha. This sin alpha is taken to right side, so minus sin alpha. Now both sides we have a sin theta plus b cos theta or a cos theta plus b sin theta model. So whenever we have a sin theta plus b cos theta model, we will divide by under root a square plus b square for solving. A sin theta plus b cos theta. A is 1, b is root 3. So under root a square plus b square means 2 we will get. Here a is root 3, b is minus 1. Here also under root a square plus b square means 2 we will get. So therefore we will divide by 2 on both sides. So divide by 2 on both sides. 1 by 2 sin beta plus root 3 by 2 cos beta is equal to root 3 by 2 cos alpha minus 1 by 2 sin alpha. Now in order to get the standard compound angle formulas, I will write this 1 by 2 as cos pi by 3 and root 3 by 2 as sin pi by 3. Similarly in the RHS side, this root 3 by 2 sin pi by 3 and this 1 by 2 is written as cos pi by 3. Just to get the standard compound angle formulas, I am changing like this. You can actually write in a different model also. You can write sin pi by 6 here, cos pi by 6 here. That also we can do. Okay. So now this is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B model. Sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So therefore we will get sin of A plus B. This is equal to right side sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. So sin of A minus B. So you can simply remove sin on both sides. So beta plus pi by 3 is equal to pi by 3 minus alpha. Directly we can equate the angles. Pi by 3 cancel on both sides. So this is the condition we are getting. What is the question? This part. So the required part is sin 3 alpha plus sin 3 beta. Beta can be written as minus alpha. So sin 3 alpha plus sin beta can be written as minus alpha. So this is sin of minus 3 alpha actually. And what is sin of minus 3 alpha? Sin of minus 3 alpha is minus sin 3 alpha. Both sin 3 alpha minus sin 3 alpha cancel. So 0 is our result. So this is required, which is equal to 0. Okay, so let us conclude our video here. So if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and share with others. So I request everyone to help the students actually who are not able to listen to all these classes regularly. So you can share these videos to any student who wants to learn the subject. Okay, thank you.